enforcement status or the fact that she'd worked her way through college waiting tables at Pepe Delgado's in San Luis Obispo that inspired her own chief ranger, John Brown, to offer her the assignment when the call went out. She was pleasantly surprised at how fast her skills came back. She'd been wearing a probably dead, woman's clothes both literally and figuratively for less than a week, and already her short-term memory had risen to the challenge. Crawling into trousers of the deceased hadn't been Anna's heart's desire, but a new uniform order would have taken a week or more to arrive. So far, the hardest part of the job had been turning her tips over to the Mountain Safety Fund. As long as she was pulling in her pay as a GS-11 district ranger, she wasn't allowed to keep them. A shame. They dwarfed her salary. A quick check of the order, and she put it up for the chef. Waitstaff, desiring to keep the peace, double-checked orders. James Wither, a man so lean his large hazel eyes bulged from nearly fleshless sockets, and whose jet-black hair hung over a forehead lined by at least 50 years of slaving over hot stoves, saw waiters and waitresses as either flawed delivery systems or malicious art vandals bent on destroying his creative visions. Anna had never seen him actually throw knives at busboys or fling trays at salad chefs, but she'd heard the stories and chose to tread lightly. Several of the long-time servers could talk intelligently about food. These educated few Wither could see and hear. Anna, who shied away from meat but otherwise ate what was easy, cheap, or put in front of her, was beneath his notice. This was good. Despite what they said in the movies, a spy needed to be unremarkable. Anna was finding this and the rest of the spying business harder than she'd anticipated. Chatting, drawing people out, being downright likable, was work for her at the best of times. Doing so with ulterior motives was an absolute grind. When tempted to give it up as a non-starter, the unapologetic opinion of Leo Johnson, the deputy superintendent, and go home to her dog, her cat, and her fiancé, Anna viewed the photographs Lorraine Knight had shown her in her mind's eye. Before donning her apron and sensible shoes, Anna met with the chief ranger and the deputy superintendent. Lorraine had shown her pictures of Dixon Crofter, Patrick Waters, Trish Spencer, and Caitlin Bates. These four were typical of the marvelously atypical young people who worked in parks. Dixon Crofter, what parkies referred to as a climber dude, lived in Camp 4, a mecca for rock climbers from all over the world. He'd been in Yosemite 3 seasons. He climbed for fun. If he could get on a funded expedition to Greenland or Austria or Patagonia, he climbed for fun and money. When the park search and rescue team needed a climber, they hired Dixon or several other of the SAR-sighters living in the camp. Then Dixon climbed for fun, money, and the good of his fellow man. Dixon was 24 years old, 6'3", 135 pounds. From the picture, Anna guessed his body was a powerful construction of cable and bone. He had long curling black hair, a smile that could melt ice, and a nose a Bedouin chief would be proud of. Pat Waters worked trail crew. He was 2 years younger than Dixon. Where the climber was narrow, Pat was broad, shoulders, jaw, chest. He looked strong, not with gym-honed bench press muscles, but the kind that can move rocks and stumps all day and still have the energy to tell jokes over dinner. He sported a bleached blonde mohawk and a grin that, despite the dusty rigors of his chosen occupation, spoke of expensive orthodonture. On his right biceps was a tattoo of Bill the Cat in one of his more schizophrenic poses. Trish Spencer and Caitlin Bates were photographed together, their arms around each other's waists, their heads close, long hair twining together. Trish's was sleek and brown, Caitlin's bleached and permed with black roots. Trish had buck teeth a shade whiter than nature intended, and dark eyes that nearly disappeared with the onslaught of her smile. Caitlin wore a bandana, pirate, or to Anna's memory, hippie style around her head, and looked all of 12 years old. Neither girl would ever make a living modeling or win a swimsuit contest, but they were beautiful nonetheless, even in the flat, dead medium of a